Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Library of Ruina. Alrighty, so you might recognize this, you might not. So I had a bit of a plan, right? It has been in development for a while. It's certainly had its ups and downs along the way. However, the last time it was updated was 2023, and the last time it was posted about was 2024, and we're getting ready to go into 2026. Now, that was just on the Steam page. I'm not in the Discord or anything, so maybe it's still actively being talked about. I know the post from 2024 was talking about the realization, but here we are. So, if it does get updated at some point, we'll play it again. However, I never finished the act, so I kind of wanted to go back and revisit it and go through all the fights that are currently here, because honestly, I kind of want to showcase its current state, so that if it ever does get updated, which at this point I'm kind of losing hope, I'll be honest, we'll be able to see all the new stuff. Hopefully there's a lot of cool stuff. We'll certainly see. But the floor of psychology has been open to us. So there is a lot of placeholder stuff. Obviously, it's not done by any stretch of the imagination. However, we're just gonna go through it. I'm gonna see all the cool stuff that it has in store. I also think you cannot change Angela's deck. No, you cannot. So, unfortunately, she's just very, very weak. You can give her passives, though, so that certainly does help. But without further ado, let's replay the act. And so I've established a team. A team of veterans that we haven't seen for quite some time, except for Sally. So, here's what we got. By the way, Sally's name is Neo because of the key page she's using. It forcibly changes your name, so oof, but oh well. Angela, with a deck that you cannot change. From memory, I remember her being very, very squishy and it being an issue, but we'll see how that goes. For her passives, we have the Emerald Chestplate to make her a little bit tankier, Overclock because, hey, Pale Librarian for a reason, and Adjust Stance, just to try and counteract a little bit more of that squishiness. We know her, we love her, it's Sally. She's using a very abridged version of a Singleton Trigram deck, and, of course, Blade Unlocked with Lock Potential, Raging Torrent, Butterfly Ocarina for a bit of group healing, and Blue Rose for a bit of self-healing, and the Art of Defense. Because we do have a couple of defensive dice, so, you know, maybe they'll get used, maybe they won't. I realize we only have 2 evasion dice, but hey, what are you gonna do? Joy with Ariane's page. This one's experimental, I don't know if we're gonna keep this, but Zen State, so that anytime our emotion level goes up, we get a fair bit of healing and stagger resist. Volatile Passion, because we're always going to be inflicted with burn, and Overheat, because they're always going to be inflicted with burn. I said that backwards, I think. Oh well. Sleepy, using Lynn Bixway's page, which seemingly got a few changes in art, although it has been a while since I've used it. Can't change the deck at all. But for passives, we're using Reindeer Treatment, Rhino Procedure, and Survivor. Because we're going to get staggered a lot, so we may as well lean into it. Before we finish it off with Wonder Arc, who is using a pure charge-focused deck with Fusion Drive, Emergency Resuscitation Protocol, and Charged Shield. Because you can never go wrong with a bit of endurance. Okie dokie! So, yeah, censored. We remember what censored does, right? So, my goal for this episode, and chances are I might record other episodes in between, I want to do every single abnormality of the act and put it in this episode, just as kind of a catalog thing, because, I mean, it's been so long. If an update's gonna happen, it's quote-quote gonna be soon. At least that's my guess. So, hey, may as well have a little bit of history while we're at it. Now, as for Censored. Face the fear! Librarians get additional combat pages for this encounter. Undeniable. Instead of being staggered, inflict 2 feeble and disarm to all allies this and next scene. At the start of the scene, gain 1 protection, 1 stagger protection, and 1 resilience per ally alive. All dice gain +1 power for every 20 resilience. Unfathomable. All dice clashing against Censored gain -2 power, become inactive and untargetable at scene 1 and every 2 scenes thereafter. Unending. At the start of each scene, spawn a minion. Whenever a librarian is defeated, spawn additional minions. If that would result in more than 6 minions present, gain an additional speed die up to 4. Gain 1 permanent strength and endurance each 3rd scene, and gain 1 speed dice in the 4th scene. As for the little buddies here, all dice inflict 50% stagger damage when attacking one-sided. At the start of the scene, give 1 protection, stagger protection, and resilience to the main Censored. Okie dokie, so basically this is a type of endurance test, because every so often, Censored becomes completely untargetable. Not to mention, endured to everything. And then the special things that we get, one is called Presence, replaces all copies of Annulled with Cut. A random speed dice is sealed this scene. And Sacrifice. Become unaffected by Unfathomable this scene, become staggered next scene, deal 30% more damage on one-sided attack against the main Censored this scene. So you can forcibly stagger yourself in exchange for 30% damage for this turn, effectively. Okay, so there's definitely a lot that we're not going to be able to clash, because Annulled, 7 to 10 on hit, main Censored gains 1 strength. Now, that is what these pages are for, because we can get rid of that in exchange for replacing it with Cut, which is effectively just a nerfed version of it. But we're going to see how turn 1 goes. Evil Dart Guns from Sleepy. Unfortunately, we're not able to do too terribly much. Its initial turn is going to be pretty bad for us, but that's okay. We're trying to inflict a little bit of burn. Sally goes for the Kitteh. Unfortunately, it doesn't end up working. Shyness prevents all damage taken. Everlasting Blade makes us burn. Shockwave working for the first die, but not so much the other ones. Binding Chains, making it so Sally gets a very, very easy clash right there. That was actually really good. Now it's Censored's turn. Expunged. Dice on this page gain 4 power per alive ally. Well, unfortunately for us, we didn't kill any of them. So there's a very real likelihood that this just flat kills us. Is it a mass summonation? Yes, it is. I don't know how much that matters, but we can sure try to clash it. Oh, wait. Wait, what? Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, I was just mistaken. That's my bad. Oh, and Angela also has a special one. Accord. Drain 1 light from all allies. Replace all copies of Expunged with Rejected on the target. Now, that's Expunged. And it replaces it with what? With Rejected. Do we know which one that is? This. On hit, all well, I don't know that I really like that one, but unfortunately we're using all of our light. Otherwise, I think I would. I'm going to go for the riskier option, and I think I'm just going to go for the Courage to Protect. I know that might not be the best idea, but honestly, it's the best I got right now, so here we go. Okay, we do end up hitting most of them. That gives us 5 strength next scene. Absolutely everybody gets hit. That's pretty expected. We do get a stagger. Sally does not end up winning her clashes, which means she is going to take bonus damage. We end up getting a stagger on one of the little buddies. Redacted ends up doing a ton of damage to us. Ouch. Oof. Okay, counter dice working out somewhat nicely. Well, we blocked 2 out of 3. That's not the worst. Angela takes a tiny bit of one-sided attacks. Ooh, and we get staggered with an attack that didn't seem like it was going to stagger at first. So, we're not able to do anything to censor this turn. Oh, yes. And also, Sleepy is now doing her own thing. Gaze into the cosmos. Mass Summonation targets all other characters. On use, gives 7 negative emotion points and 7 sinking this scene to self and all targets. If you're curious what sinking does. When hit, take stagger damage and half the stack. Maybe not amazing with censored on the field, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Let's see. I think... let's go ahead and try to heal everybody up, at least a little. And then I'm just gonna go for shyness, and hopefully we get a stagger before that goes through. Okay, we get a kill, one's almost dead, and we do get a stagger. Gaze. Pretty. Shame it was so goddamn loud. Alright, censored is active again. Expunged is being used once again. This time I'm going to use a chord. So it does replace with rejected. So I think how we're going to have to do this is we're basically going to have to forcibly drain light from everybody every round, I think. That might just be the only play here, because otherwise we're just never going to have the gas to get through this. And edited just does so much damage. Goodness me. Alright, let's see. We have 9 burn. Maybe we can make something happen here. So, big AoE. Death, maybe death, maybe death. Okay. It's a little too early to do Divine Flame. Especially because he doesn't have any burn. So, let's go for Scorching Earth instead. Then we go for Dios Rey. And then I'm also going to go for Fervent Prayer. Luckily, we don't have to change our order here very much. No big things for us to worry about currently. So, I'm just going to try and avoid a little bit of damage. Oof. You know what? I'm going to change my order on that. And we're going to go Form of Current here. Well, I think we're getting staggered no matter what we do, unfortunately. So that's just how this cookie is going to crumble. We don't have any charge at the moment, so I'm just going to take the first hit and just let her roll. Then we're going to go for core activation just in case, and then that's our turn. Now, let the movements do what they must. Apparently guaranteed rolls a 6. We did basically no damage with that. That was utterly terrible. Okay, Sleepy does take quite a bit of damage and does go down. Yeah, this is about as hard as I'm remembering. I seem to recall that this took a long time to actually get through. Well, looks like we're gonna have to do it again. How much damage did we do to Censored? Exactly 0. Once again, not a perfect turn, but we did get rid of Expunged. And that allows us to use the Path of Gold, or whatever this ego is called. Luckily, it does actually end up hitting everybody, which means we are basically going to be full light next turn. Okay, Cognition Restraint. Ouch. Okay, Sally doing some Giga high rolls. We like that. Oh, unfortunately, those are one-sided attacks, so they're naturally going to be a little bit more deadly. Joy was already staggered, so we don't really have to worry about that. Ow. Oh, the one-sideds. Good lord. There's just so many dice to worry about. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. What is with all the dice? Alright, tell you what we're gonna do. We have 5 extra strength, right? Therefore, if we... We're gonna do Courage to Protect. Yeah. Yeah. 5 extra strength, Courage to Protect. I'm very, very sure that that's gonna work out just fine. Let's go, thank you. Let's go ahead and seal that speed die. Or rather, get rid of the ability. We're at 2 burn, so that's not terrible. We just go for the attack. I'm going to do Wing Voracious for knowledge, and then I'm also going to do a Tail Whisk just to get our light back. Then, Sleepy, you can do No Waves in the Well. And then you're really... Whoa. You're really not able to do too much else, so let's just try and prevent a little bit of damage while we're at it. Okay, that does end up hitting everybody because of our extra strength, which we're also going to have next scene. Unfortunately, Sleepy isn't really able to do much in terms of real damage, so little bit unfortunate there, but that's alright. Tail Whisk with a little bit of bleed. 2 of the little buddies are down, and we do end up getting quite a hefty heal for it. Unfortunately, they do revive anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use a cord, and that is now gone. Unfortunately, going for stagger damage against Censored really doesn't do a whole lot. So what I could do is we have a bunch of strength, so let's just go for huge AoE. That way everybody gets to draw. And then we go one-sided. One-sided again, assuming... Actually, let's go double one-sided on this one, just in case. I am going to go for Trigram Nanite. Yeah, that should be fine. And then the only thing we have that costs 1 is Face the Battlefield. Unfortunately, I don't think that's really going to work out for us very well, so we'll try Facing the Battlefield here. We should get Blade unlocked while we're at it. Also, we're spending so much charge that, unfortunately, Rapid Recovery Zone is not getting a whole lot of use. We might want to edit that a little bit. I'm going to go for Stargaze just because we can. Let's see, we have 23 burn. We're not going to be able to give it to Censored, but what... Oh, never mind. Yeah, oh. Our burn build, unfortunately, not getting too much use from Joy. Yeah, we're not really able to stop that. If we had Roland on this floor, it would actually be perfect, because we go for the slam, and that just destroys a 15 to 23 roll. Unfortunately, no Black Silence to be seen. Other than Dark Carmen, which technically we could move over if we needed to. And then I think I'm going to go for Baptism of Holy Fire. First one absolutely won't work, but the burn protection is what's most important. You're using literally all of your best pages, so unfortunately for us, it seems like this is going to be a nasty turn. We do get a huge amount of AoE damage, though, which is nice. We also all draw multiple cards. Ugh. Minimum rolls, you hate to see it. Not able to get through the big ones. Okay, we're staggered, so we're going to go for the big AoE next turn. Okay, Trigram getting a decent amount of damage, all things considered, but it is very easily healed back up. Sally is now staggered. We get a little bit of healing. Block! Okay, there's the big attack. Stargaze getting a good deflect. The next one doesn't work out. We rolled a 2. Can't really say why, though. Shockwave working out quite nicely for us. Baptism of Fire. Barely managing to win those clashes. And unfortunately, Sleepy does go down. But we do end up getting a little bit of extra healing. Unfortunately, because one of us died, that's another sensor that pops out. Yeah, this is about as hard as I remember. It's like a puzzle, but with no actual answer. That'll restore some light. I think I just kind of want to go for the big damage and just say screw it. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. And then let's try and defend people as much as possible. Just go for as many shynesses as we possibly can. Unfortunately, that's all we're really gonna be able to stop, which does suck. Okay, let's get a Starlight Bond. Let's get another Starlight Bond. And then let's go for Shockwave. Then, over here, what's our burn at? 26? That will kill us if we don't get any sort of, protection, which luckily we can do, and we can do it quite easily at that. This guy is still going to be alive. 6 to 12. That's good enough odds to where I'm willing to go for it, because technically it's 7 to 13. And then we don't need more burn protection, but I also don't think we're going to win that clash. And Sally will die. Scorching Earth might have a better chance. That's +2, so it's 5 to 10. Let's try it. Oh, massive AoE damage. I think we got 2 staggers in there. Okay, Starlight Bond dealing a little bit of one-sided attack. Shockwave taking out one of the little censored buddies. Ugh, our block dice unfortunately not doing a whole heck of a lot. Everlasting Blaze for a bit of flame, and that's it. Man, we managed to take out the little buddies. They're just back already. Oh my goodness. I'm definitely remembering my struggles with this fight, but absolute worst case, because I'm primarily wanting to show off all these fights, if it really comes down to it, I'll skip it. I've already done this fight like twice, so. And I did it legit too, let it be known. That being said, though, we are in Blade Unlocked. So I'm going to go Clash. No, I'm going to go Wings Voracious for Knowledge. Let's see, Censored is attacking here. I think we're just going to eat the big hit. And then Tail Whisk might deflect that, although our odds are not amazing. Okay, let's go for big AoE. Let's debuff Censored as much as possible. And then we just go for Shyness because we can. Definitely eating up too much charge. That is a definite problem. Man, we can't use Energy Crush either. Well, we can. It just won't be as effective as I would like. Okay, let's go ahead and go for it. We might get staggered for doing this, but you know what? It's better than the alternative, and then we can go for a Stargaze just to avoid the one-sided. We do have 38 burn. Censored, unfortunately, is not going to die, and I really can't see how much light we have. We only have 1? Huh. Okay. Then let's reduce as much healing as possible and let her rip. Okay, Path of Gold coming down. We are going to have plenty of light and strength on Angela next scene. It also takes out one of the censored buddies, but he's probably about to get another one. We win both of our clashes, luckily for us. Sally ends up winning her clashes as well. No burn being done, unfortunately, because he has a million resilience. Okay, Wonder Arc ends up getting stunned. Yeah. Wing Voracious for Knowledge, getting a ton of damage down for us. Okay. We are taking a tiny bit of one-sided attacks. Wonder Arc dies, so that is going to be another little buddy. Actually, it's going to be multiple little buddies because Joy would have died to burn anyway. Oof. Alright, well, yeah, that's censored. So, moving on to the next fight. I adjusted our build slightly. By the way, if you want to see me genuinely defeating censored, I recommend... It's somewhere in the playlist. Somewhere in the playlist twice off memory, so I've beaten censored twice before. That's kind of why I'm skipping over him again. That being said, Accord. Add an Accord page to personal e-guild list. Cost 2, on play, all other allies gain 1 damage up for every 2 users' emotion levels, 1 strength, and lose 1 light. So, based on your emotion level, you gain damage up, strength, and you lose light. Okay. Sacrifice. Single ally. All dice gain +3 power. Become overwhelmed every even scene. Overwhelmed makes you immobilized for the scene. And trauma. Upon selecting this page, become staggered. At the start of subsequent acts, lose 80% of max stagger resist, but all stagger damage resistances change to ineffective. If you can play it correctly, that's pretty strong. You know what else is strong? Melting Love. Slime, anyone? When hit, increase physical resistances against the damage type that dealt the most damage throughout the suppression by 2 grades for the scene, and by 1 grade for the second most damaging type. Cannot be staggered. When reaching 1 stagger resist, take 80 damage instead, and recover all stagger resist. Well, Sleepy's gonna do great in this fight. Gentle Touch. Attacks from this character deal no damage and deal 50% additional stagger damage. Well, Sleepy's gonna be a hindrance in this fight. Embrace. Take 3 less damage and stagger damage from one-sided attacks. When inflicted with a status ailment, reduce the amount by 75%. Rounded down, does not go below 1. Pinkiest Future. At the end of the scene, if love is 20 or higher on any unit, inflict 10 love to all enemies and change behavior. If the total amount of love on any librarian is 40 or above, the suppression is failed. In Search of Love. When HP reaches 1, change behavior. The librarian with Lover can redirect all attacks and gains +2 power, +4 against counters, when clashing against Melting Love. So, I believe I've done this fight as well. However, we're gonna do it again. Token of Friendship just to open up. Actually, it is a clash, so the +2 power could be nice. However, I think I am just gonna go for Lean Bloody Wings and just call it a day. Okay. Very, very strong counter dice incoming. Let's see, 6 to 9. Nice. I think we just let it rip. That way it's not one-sided. Then... I think we go for Restrain to try and keep her down. And then we hold. Okay. So we have to keep Love from hitting 40, or else we're going to be in a world of pain. Speaking of pain, we actually managed to get that sorry to say hurting me. We managed to get that hit through. Lover. At the start of the scene, inflict 2 love to 2 allies with the least amount of love. Then swap the amount of love on this character with an ally with the most love. When Melting Love changes behavior, die. Okay, probably wasn't a good idea to do it on Angela then, but... Love. At the end of the scene, if this character is not staggered, reduce his status by 2 for each unused speed die. When Melting Love changes behavior, all resilience is purged, and the status becomes Erosion. Oh, good. Blushy Slime. Offensive dice on this page deal bonus stagger damage equal to stacks of love on the target. Oh, goody. Well, Let's see. I think we can stop that one, so let's just let it roll. We are going to take a little bit of love, but we're also going to purge 2. And then hugs is potentially problematic, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for shotgun barrage. That way there's not a whole lot of that going on. If target does not have lover... Okay, so don't clash with that. Instead, we will clash... I'm going to try Decay Ampule. I'm very much confident that it's not going to land. But at the same time... Thank you. At the same time, you never know. Coffin seems like a bad idea. So let's just go for Display of Affection. We are all going to take a little bit of love, but hey, what are you going to do? And then this is technically just damage, so let's ignore it. Hug. Well, it did regular damage. Okay, so mass attacks do not follow the same logic. Mass attacks actually do real damage. Yeah, I'm starting to remember this fight now. Decay Ampule actually almost got through. That's crazy. Okay, we do take a little bit of love. That's fine. All dice game plus 3. I mean, if you really think about it, seems pretty good to me. So we are going to become staggered next scene. That's just how that's going to go. I'm going to go for Lanchester because that is going to get insane value. Then, Angela, you are going to go for Display of Affection just to reduce that. Actually, Angela, you need to go for this one instead. Then, Sleepy. How confident are you? 9 to 18? I'm pretty confident in that. And then Sally has 9 bullets, which means 700 Nitro Express gets maximum value. Then I'm just going to go for a Shockwave to try and offset that. We'll see what happens. Either way, we are keeping our love relatively down. Ton of damage being done. We just about have the 80 damage from getting her staggered. There it is. Okay. Also, we should have been using that on censored. The slashy slash, I just forgot what it did. I'm going to go for Accord, and I'm going to do it on Sally because she has a revive. Okay, Joy isn't able to do anything this turn. Hugs is potentially going to go down. Let's see. Okay, so we have to avoid that. So once again, let's go for Display of Affection. You know what? I think we can get away with using Hope to be a better person. Yeah, I think we can get away with it. It's a little iffy, but it should be fine. This gives us ammo and light. So let's go ahead and go for close combat right here. Let me think. So we have +2. So 9 to 11, and then we have a chance for it to go up to 12. Okay, just let it roll. Then I'm gonna go to where the prescript points because we get an extra +1 and then potentially another +1. So yeah, let's just go. Here comes Hugs. We are all gonna take a little bit of damage. That's fine. I will say, utterly adorable. Issue, killer. As in she is a killer, not kill her. Alright, debuff next turn, although it is reduced. Unfortunately, we don't end up winning that clash. That's fine. We are keeping her on the back foot really, really well. We're doing really good so far. Of course, you know, I say so far. Let's see. Lover. Okay, so let's go bop. And then, you know what? I'm going to have everybody draw just because we can. Yeah, let's do it like this. Let's go boom, boom, change our order. We have 8 shots. That's not quite enough for my liking. 6 to 11 still. 5 to 6. That'll never... Yeah, let's go stun prod reversal. Then... I'm gonna go binding chains, because I'm fairly confident that'll win. It should also get us to blade unlocked. Or no, I think we need one more past that for blade unlock, but either way. Let's go for no waves. And then we'll go for cut off. Cut off breath won't work too well, actually. Alright, let's just go for a shockwave, hope for the best. We are also close to getting another stagger, which will be 80 more flat damage. Okay, there it is, the 80 damage. Ouch. Sally does take a little bit of love, that's fine. Shockwave goes through, a little bit more love being done to us. It is going to be reduced by 2, though. And we are getting close to her supposed second phase. She's going for hugs one more time. Oh, right. Gaze into the cosmos. Unfortunately, not a whole lot we can do about that one. So I am just gonna try and get a little bit of a heal. Actually, you know what? There's a proper way to do this. Let's get some more ammo. Oh, yeah, there's a proper way to do this. Hang on. Okay. Feast and chop. Then, Angela, you are going to take all of these clashes, and you're just going to deal with them. Alright, here we go. So, Angela is going to die at the end of this turn. I'm very confident about that. Here comes Gaze. Okay, ton of stagger damage being done. Hugs! Nyam. Love. Hug. No. Hug. No. She has been denied multiple hugs. You will have no hugs this day. Okay, a little bit more damage being done. Bah, that sucks. Okay, it seems like we're not actually going to kill her this turn, which is a little unexpected. I really thought that we had her. Sleepy is not going to go for huge AoE, so we like that. Okay, let's play this turn as smart as we can. Just keep doing what we're doing. Sally, go for the nitro. Then, you can also afford to go for a stun prod. I'm confident you'll win that clash. This has nothing to do with Lover, so we're just going to let it ride. Let's go for Icebreaker. Let's see, which one is the Lover? This one. Okay. Display of Affection. Then we go Wing Voracious for Knowledge. That'll get extra damage. And then we go for Prayer of the Soul. Okay, I think we have her this turn. Oh. If we win our clashes. Ah, there it is. Alright, we staggered her. That is the end. For now. Because here comes phase 2! And also, Angela's dead. Angela definitely wasn't the play to put it on, but oh well. So overall, same passive. 600 health, 150 stagger resist. Bubbling Acid. When hit by a one-sided attack, inflict 1 erosion to the attacker once per page, and use a powerful mass attack every 3 scenes. Ah, this is where the fight gets out of control. So, off memory, I believe I beat this fight legitimately as well. I don't think we ever did the fight after it, because I believe I wanted to wait for the fight after. Obviously, that time has long since passed, but still. I am gonna go for Hammer Down, hope for the best. Our chances of winning are not great. But, oh well. Let's go for close combat. Oh, we have multiple trying to hit us. Gain power, half to emotion level. Oh, that is real bad. Okay. Restrain might work. Let's see. Melting Love is going for us. Recycle this die once. Gain power equal to half of emotion level. Oh, not good. All right, go for Polar Ice Bloom. Hope for the best. Okay. Go for Giga Dodges. Go for Giga Dodges again. And then we go no waves to try and reduce some of those effects. And then that is going to be so much erosion that I'm pretty sure Wonder Arc is dead. Well, not a lot to be done about it. Okay, a ton of stagger damage being done. We don't dodge the very first attack. Not a good start. It also uses up both dodges, so unfortunately we're not going to have any one-sided dodges either. Hammer down, dealing a little bit of damage. Painted Love. Ugh, almost getting a stagger. Luckily it doesn't quite. Okay, Polar Ice Bloom. We do get the effect, so you are bound. Okay, Restrain. We won plenty of clashes, so we do get buffed up. Close combat specialization mostly works out. Ouch. Oh, Counter Dice does reduce a little bit of the effects. Unfortunately, Corroding Heart gives us 13 erosion. 13. Give it up for lucky number 13. Sally is inflicted with all of the bind. Also, we do have to worry about Sleepy doing her own things. Luckily, she isn't going for Gaze into the Cosmos, at least not yet. And that's just because she didn't have enough light for it. Promise is not going to get much use, so instead, we are at emotion level 4, so I'm going to go for Accord. That buffs everybody up. Okay. Dice cannot be recycled. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, I'm understanding. Well, let's try and go for pistol combo. Then we go for Nitro Express. Oof. And then we are kind of out of luck as far as things go. We can reduce power a little bit. And then we gain... Ooh. I'm going to go for Shockwave instead here, I think. And then we go where the prescript lies. I'm sure one of those is bound to get through. We go Feast and Chop. That way we guarantee draw the pages we need next turn. Joy has a turn to do what she needs to do. I don't think we're going to land a stagger, so let's go ahead and go for Shockwave. We'll go for another Shockwave. And then we'll go for a Decay Ampule, because the second one will guaranteed hit. So that is ideal. And then we'll do the same thing over here, and then let it roll. Okay, a little bit of stagger, bit more stagger. Good stuff. Sleepy is doing what Sleepy does best in a ton of stagger. Nitro Express dealing no damage, but it does deal a bit of stagger damage, which counts. Okay, 80 flat damage being done to Melting Love. Our dodges do end up working. Shockwave getting a little bit of damage. Ooh, and then completely saving us from all the rest. Then saving us from the rest again. Very good. One-sided Decay Ampule goes down. Shockwave does it again! And you guys wonder why I like Shockwave so much. It's just such a good page. Feast and Chop, unfortunately, we are going to take quite a bit of erosion. Oh! And those attacks also deal plenty of erosion damage by themselves. Unfortunately, I kind of think we're out of gas here. Yeah, without Angela, there's just really not a whole lot else that we can do at the moment. And she is going for World in Pink. Does no stagger damage. On hit, deal bonus damage equal to stacks of erosion. And on miss, question mark on that one. Inflict 3 erosion and 10 bind. What the heck does on miss mean? Does that mean if we block it? So, okay, technically, if we don't have erosion, this actually does nothing. Am I set in stone thinking that? That it actually does nothing if it misses? I think, you know what? Let it ride. I just want to see. So it'll deal a ton to Wonder Arc. No, it still does damage. Okay, so I don't understand then. And since we have beaten Melting Love, I believe once? I have a faint memory of twice, but because we beat her regardless, we are just going to move on so we can get to the next 2 fights. I believe there's only 2 more. Actually, you know what? Yeah, there is. I know exactly what they are. I think we've beaten the next one as well, although this one I'm unsure about. So this one we'll actually try and beat legit. Hopefully it doesn't take the whole episode, but we'll see, because I do want to fit everything into this one episode. Gentle Touch. Deal 50% more stagger damage with attacks. Deal no damage with attacks against non-staggered enemies. That'll be perfect for Sleepy. Barrier of Slime. Take 25% less damage from attacks while not staggered. At the start of the scene, recover HP equal to the number of allies present. Ooh. And Overgrowth. Single ally. Increase max HP by 100%. Current HP does not increase accordingly. Reduce max stagger resist by 50%. At the start of the scene, recover stagger resist equal to the number of allies present. So Overgrowth and Trauma seemingly would work quite well, although that's a lot of stagger reduction. You have close to 0. Even with ineffective, any sort of like flat SP damage, stagger damage, is just immediately gonna get you staggered. So I don't know how great Overgrowth is when paired with Trauma, but it does, in theory, sound quite good. Barrier Slime, obviously, very good. Gentle Touch, good in the right circumstance. But next up, Yin Yang. Yeah, I don't think I remember this one. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Halved Hole. The distance between yin and yang is measured by a buff counter, starting at 5. This counter is shared between both characters. Each scene, this counter decreases by 1. When yin or yang would become staggered, the counter increases by 3, and they instantly recover all stagger resist. Winning clashes against certain pages will also increase the counter. If the counter reaches 0, the suppression is lost. Negative Aura. Upon entering a clash, the opposing character takes 5 damage. Uses a mass attack page when the sum of damage taken by all characters reaches 250, tracked by a buff. The end circles back to the beginning. Every 5th scene, the HP and stagger resist percentages of all librarians is reversed. Oh, goody. Oh, that sounds lovely. How about Yang? Halved Hole, distance, yep. Positive Aura. Upon entering a clash, the opposing character heals 5 HP. Uses a special page when the sum of all damage taken by characters reaches 200. Okay, so 200 versus 250. So we have to worry about Yang first. Target restores 15 HP. Inflict 3 disarm and 1 feeble. Ugh. Positive energy. Deal damage equal to target's dice roll. Ugh. Each time you targeted librarian clashes with Yin this scene, they take 10 stagger. What? Oh, yikes. Okay. So we're just kind of gonna have to deal with that, though. God dang, your dice rolls are insane. So we'll just go for 1. Give target librarian 2 negative emotion coins. Inflict 1 feeble and disarm. Okay. Right. And Cries of the Unwanted. 5 to 14, 7 to 14, only deals physical damage if the previous die did not hit. On hit, inflict 2 fragile. On clash lose, increase the distance between yin and yang by 1. Right. Okay, well, let's try and get a stagger. This is a lot of power. This is rough. Okay, tell you what. Coffin is almost guaranteed to land, and then we can go for Shyness, although we're gonna lose that second. We're gonna lose that second one because 8 to 13 is followed immediately by a 9 to 13. I am remembering that I really did not like the just nonsensical power that some of the enemies had, and it's coming back to me now. Although, then again, I guess recently I've been in a real, everything is too powerful, kind of mood, but still. Alright, here we go. Wow, basically the 1 dice roll that made it so that it didn't hit. That sucks. Okay, we do get a tiny bit of stagger damage. The Wing Voracious for Knowledge almost increases the distance. Okay, counter dice unfortunately do stop us. Expectedly, we don't win that clash. Okay, so that's problematic. So we're gonna go for Accord on Angela. Okay, so they're 4 away, so technically we did keep them away. Albeit not as much as I would have liked. We could go for Rationality, and I think I'm going to, because it's all but guaranteed to hit. Then we're just going to soak the stagger. If Angela becomes staggered, so be it. And then you recover stagger immediately, right? Yes, you do. Okay. I'm going to still go for Cut Off the Breath. I know it's not going to clash, but that's fine. A little too early for Promise. I'm gonna try and do a Hammer Down, and then let's go for Analysis of Armor Breakthrough. It's fine. We're not gonna win the clash, but we are gonna get the strength. That's the important part. I'm gonna go for No Waves in the Well, and then let's go for Cognition Restraint. Then I'm gonna go for a regular Restrain. Okay. And then I think we go for Binding Chains just for the counter dice. Okay, quite a bit of stagger damage being done. Certainly not a terrible amount. Okay, more stagger damage being done. Rationality. Ugh! We just about have you staggered. Very good. I think we are actually going to make use out of Cut Off the Breath. Oh, you instantly recovered. Not at the end of the turn. You just immediately go back to full. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's go for Barrier of Slime. That's going to make it so that we start regenning health, and we take a little bit less damage. We are up to 69 damage taken, which means 131 left before we start taking some AoEs. Now, we do need to take a little bit of damage, though, because we're about to get our health swapped. Little bit problematic. I'm gonna go for Promise because I'm really curious if it'll actually slow them down. Funny enough, we're up to 6, so we've slowed them down a lot. I don't know how we're gonna kill Yang at the same time. I think Yin just has to die first. That's all there is to it. Yin has to die first. Otherwise, we're just gonna be in a constant state of, like, just death constantly. Let's see. Display of Affection. I'm very confident that that's going to win. Let's go for another Display of Affection for the same reason. Let's start trying to win a few clashes. I'm confident we'll get through that. Prescript is absolutely... Oh, you're using that page twice. Interesting. Okay. Then, yeah. You know what? We're just going to soak it. I'm going to use Angel's Light just to get our light back, and then let's let it roll. Get through a couple of your counter dice. Very good. Oh, Decay Ampule, unfortunately, not quite working out, but the second one does. Promise, so that we can destroy those dice, and hopefully that allows us to put them back a little bit further. Only 15 damage being done, but we also deal 31 stagger damage, which is arguably the more important thing. Okay, we lose those clashes. That's fine. Expected. They're staggered again, so now they're even further behind. They're all the way up to 9 turns away. Okay, Gentle Touch on Sleepy. By the way, all of us are still basically full health, which means we are going to die if we don't take some serious damage. I'm gonna let Wonder Arc take these hits. And then, let me see. Display of Affection should work beautifully. Coffin. That's fine if we lose that clash. We don't have any ammo, so Nitro Express isn't going to do a whole heck of a lot. You know what? I'm just... Oh, I don't want you to hit me, though. You know what? Let's just soak these hits. I'm starting... So Yang heals you if you target him. The fish. And still has some pretty high rolls. So if you just let Yang wail on you... That's an interesting thought. Maybe that's how you're supposed to do this. I am just going to soak the damage. Yeah. But then I do want to soak the damage right here as well. Okay. I don't want to take too much dagger damage. So I think what I'll do... Okay, let's go Prayer for the Soul. Let's go Form as Current. And then we will go for Cognition. Just because we can. Okay, no hits get through. We get through the counter dice. That's fine. Ideally, you're actually sealed for next turn. Angela is staggered. Okay, we take a little bit of damage. That's okay. Wow, Sally actually winning that first clash. Okay, we've all taken a little bit of damage. So even if our health gets reversed right now, which it did, we are still alive. Unfortunately, Angela is staggered, so no AoE healing for us, at least not yet. So this will give us +4, so I'm actually going to try it. And then we go for Shockwave. Let's see, we only have 4 shots, so let's go Shotgun. Who's this hitting? This is hitting Wonder Arc? Okay, I think we can actually deal with that. That's not too bad. And then let's gain some armor. Some armor, oh my goodness. Let's gain some... strength. Then this is only at 1. You don't have quite enough bind. Let's just tank it and then deal a bit of burn. Then let's try and deal a bit of stagger, and then same deal over here. And we can heal up next turn because Angela will no longer be staggered. Sally also has quite a bit of strength, which does help us quite a bit. Okay, we are blade unlocked. Tiny bit of burn going down on both fish. Okay, we lose that clash. That's fine. We're not dead. That's the important part. Shockwave not quite working out for us. Lanchester. Oh, almost working despite it all. Okay, Sleepy is... Okay, Angela's dead. Well, we're not healing. Also, pretty sure we're about to be in a real world of hurt. You know, I will say, though, this is significantly more manageable. Like, I definitely think that this is more manageable than some of the other fights we've been doing so far. You're dealing an AoE. All characters gain 2 strength, endurance, and protection. All characters recover 50 HP. Boy, Angela died just a second too early, didn't she? 10 to 15, that's actually not even... Is it single? No, it's mass summonation 10 to 15. That is really manageable. Wow, okay, this is, this feels like a much better puzzle fight than the previous 2. Yeah, I'm definitely... I don't think I've done this fight. I don't recognize a lot of these mechanics. So let's just let it roll. I do think that we are dead. But may as well try for a little longer. Splash! Okay, we all recover a bit of health. We get another stagger, so they're even further apart. Jeez, 12 turns apart. We have done a legit job at keeping them far away. Ouch. Okay, counter dice mostly working. Unfortunately, Sleepy is going to do the AoE again next turn. Joy isn't dead yet. Alright, we have to take Overgrowth here, so... We'll do it on Sally, why not? So... You're dealing AoE again. Unfortunately, I think that might be all she wrote. Especially because I became the sky. All enemies are inflicted with 1 feeble, disarm, and paralysis this scene. 26 to 29. I don't see us getting through this one. We'll certainly try. But I don't see us getting through this one. Sally barely got hit. Oh, and that staggered. Rip. Ow. Restraining orders in effect. No uniting today. Bonk. Alright, this attempt is going much better for now. We do have to remember that there is about to be a HP reversal, which is going to freaking hurt. Okay. Luckily, we are actually dealing quite a bit of damage. We even get the decay ampule. Nice. Maximum voltage going down is going to give us a little bit of paralyzed to work with next turn. Feast and chop gets us staggered. Ow. Well, you know what? It's alright, because our HP is about to be reversed. Watch this after I do that. Alright, here we go. Look at that. Both beautiful and terrifying. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's just, get a little bit of health back before anything else, because, oh my god. I don't think we're getting much value this turn. I'm gonna be honest. Do I think this turn is gonna go well? No. But we're doing it anyway. Bonk. Little bit of health restored. We're looking a bit healthier. Prophecy of fear. Nothing a little bit of darts won't solve. Okay, Sally getting some good value with the stagger. Angela about to get a stagger, ideally. Lanchester getting us a little bit more damage. Cut off the breath, ensuring that we win that clash. Hammer down! Keeping them even further away. We are about to hit the HP threshold, which means we're about to be in a lot of trouble. Angela should be fine. She has absolutely ample health, and all of her stagger resistance is ineffective. So when she recovers from this, we're going to be just fine. Let's see. Prayer for the Soul, I don't think is really going to work for us. It will work here. We need to look. Ah, there we go. Let's get some more stagger, and then we can go for Formless Current. It might work, but it might also just completely backfire on us, so we'll see what happens there. I'm going to go for Shotgun Barrage. That's 2 of our shots. Let's see. We don't win the second clash, but that's fine. If we die, that's ideal, because then Sally gets hyper buffed. I'm going to go for the Armor Shred. Then we go for End of the Line. So if Sally dies this turn, it's actually ideal. How confident am I in this? We are basically hyper buffed. Let me say, +2 power, potential for +2 more. We have +1 from our passive. Determination is also... Alright, we can prevent a lot of damage here. I'm going to go for double Gale Kick into Decay Ampule. I am going to change the order I do that just a little bit. And that's our turn. Here we go. Okay, Sally's Shotgun Barrage working out very, very nicely. Quite a bit of stagger damage being done to Yin. Ow. Okay, Armor Breakthrough doesn't quite work out for us. That's alright, if not expected. We are going to have to deal with an AoE attack next turn. We might have to deal with both. Ooh, 240, we're close. 240? Ugh, we're 10 under taking both. Well, we go for Shockwave because regardless of what we do, we're in trouble next turn. I'm gonna go for Hope to be a better person. That way we can just slam a debuff down. I'm gonna go for Coffin. Yeah, Coffin should land, and then I think I'm just gonna go for Double Shyness and just soak all the stagger damage that we take. Regardless of what we do here, I don't think we're landing it, so I'm gonna go for Decay Ampule, and then we'll go for Mend Weapon. Then I'm gonna go for Gale Kick just to try and prevent a little bit more damage. Sally does not have basically any light. So, little bit unfortunate there, but let's see how it goes. Alright, most of us block it. Sally didn't even get hit by it. Okay, Form as a Current, working out nicely. Oh, we missed that clash. You are immobilized. And debuff next turn, which is when you're going to go for the mass attack. So, hopefully that ends up working out for us. We do end up getting staggered on Joy. Sally gets a little bit of light back. Ooh, we actually prevent a lot of damage from being done to us. Oh, Joy survived on 3 health. I don't know when the HP reversal is going to come into effect. I got to be honest. I don't know when it's happening anymore. Nitro Express would be really good. However, I think Shotgun Barrage is basically our only chance of winning this clash. I'm gonna go Maximum Voltage. We only have 1 strength. That might not work out. Okay. Go for the one-sided. Then we go for End of the Line. Let's see. What has the best chance? Up to 20? That's not quite enough. All right, we go for Polar Ice Bloom because that's the only one that actually has a chance to win that clash. Let's go Feast and Chop, and then let's also go for Restrain. If all of those land, we're going to be feeling real good next turn. I am going to go for Display of Affection. Okay. Then we're going to go for another Display of Affection. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Lean Bloody Wings, we see how that goes. Go for Shyness. We could Gaze into the Cosmos. I'm going to opt not to, and instead go for No Waves in the Well. Alright, here we go. I become the sky. 2 of us block it. Actually, 3 of us block it. Ouch. Joy is absolutely dead. Okay, a lot of stagger being done. Ooh, we're just about out of stagger. That's going to be really nice. Display of Affection, unfortunately, doesn't really work out for us. We do get the stagger, so they're even further away from each other. Oh, that Paralyze, unfortunately, does hold us back a fair bit. Feast and Chop is guaranteed going to draw a 2-cost page. Sally's almost staggered, but she just barely holds in. Polar Ice Bloom is going to apply a ton of bind, as well as make him keep it, I believe. Okay, Display of Affection working very nicely in that clash as well. I don't know. The HP reversal has to be soon again. Also, they're 18 turns away from each other. We are, like, borderline gonna win this fight, but we're also just like, But we're also just, like, really, really close. I'm gonna go for Hammer Down for the guaranteed clash. Then I'm going to go Stun Prod, because I think we're going to get staggered this turn. I really do. Let's go for Binding Chains. Reduce a little bit of that power. Let's go Icebreaker. Reduce the amount of damage you're going to do. Let's go for Restrain, because I think that's going to work out very nicely. And then we go for Shockwave. Then, Angela. All of us are basically full health, so that HP reversal is going to kill us. It won't kill Angela, barely, but still. This is Mass Individual. I wonder if we could land this. I'm very doubtful. You're below 50%, so I'm just gonna go for the absolute slam. It's Mass Summonation. These are counter dice. Yeah, that should work out, like, really, really nicely. Then we go for Lean Bloody Wings. Then we roll with Double Shyness. Yeah, that should work out pretty nicely for us. Huh. Bonk! 36 damage. We get a stagger on Yang. Okay, so they're even further away. Oof. Okay, win a couple clashes. Almost another stagger. Binding Chains working out decently for us. Icebreaker reducing the amount of damage that you're going to deal next turn. We do end up winning our clashes. Hammer Down getting a ton of damage. We're still not staggered despite it all. Restrain even further debuffing you next turn. Okay. Prophecy of Fear. Not quite working out for us, but that's okay. If the HP reversal happens relatively soon, Sleepy is going to be like full health. Well, there it was. Wonder Arc has 2 health. 2. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Cutting it close. Man, I really want to take out Yin this turn. I don't know if we have the juice for it, though. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. After Angela is done doing all of her abilities, we're just gonna eat the stagger and, you know, yum yum bone apple teeth, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go for Nitro Express to try and just get the kill. Then, let's go for another... Oh, Polar Ice Bloom's a little bit too expensive. You know what? Let's go for Restrain, because it's all but guaranteed to land. Then, let's... Oh, these are some scary dice. Let's go for Angel, and then let's go for Frozen Traces. Let's see. And then I'm going to swap and do Display... Which one are you doing? You're doing the first one? Yeah, let's go Display of Affection. Sleepy. Just try and dodge that as best as you can. Then we go Cognition. And that should be good enough. Here we go. Now, with Yang being all but alone, we should have this fight completely in the bag. There's one issue about that. I think the HP reversal still happens, so we're not done yet. 9 to 25, we gain +2 power. We land that. Let's see. Ooh, those dice are scary. Okay, I don't think we clash against that one. We have 2 Gaze into the Cosmos because Sleepy has lost control twice, but hasn't had the light to use Gaze into the Cosmos. That's fun. Let's go Prophecy of Fear. Man, this is nasty. I think we go Icebreaker, just tank it on Wonder Arc. Let's do Shockwave for a little bit of burn, and then that's all we have, at least for now. Then, Sally, get some light. Get some more light, and then Wonder Arc, you are going to be the lucky clasher. Oh, no! We actually lost that clash! Oh, that sucks so bad. Also, Angela dies to the roll. That went through Unrelenting, by the way. Angela technically should have survived that. Well, that makes this more difficult. That makes this a lot more difficult, in fact. Well, Sleepy? You're in charge of taking care of the really scary dice rolls. Oh, that big sucks, because Angela had most of our ego pages, too. Okay. Go Shotgun Barrage. Let's... You know what? Hang on. Yeah. Let's do Maximum Voltage. Let's go for Stun Prod. Then... let's go with Shotgun Barrage. That way, that's the one that's clashing. Wonder Arc, you're gonna go for Restrain. Then you're gonna go for Frozen Traces. Then you're really gonna go for Binding Chains. Here we go. Oh, Sleepy, unfortunately, not winning that. Oh, Sleepy with really bad dice rolls, actually. Shotgun Barrage does go through. Sorry, my cat knocked something over. You would think it would be over. You would think. However, we do have a promise. Actually, you know what? I'll do promise after. Let's do Close Combat. Then let's do Stun Prod. Make sure we have enough light. Then we go for promise, which is going to be amped up by 5 strength and plenty of ammo. So ideally, this should work out nicely. Wonder Arc, unfortunately, does not have enough light to really do... much. Well, I'll tell you what, this is getting very, very tricky. Let's just let it ride for now. We do also need to be a little bit mindful of the amount we're healing from Yang, because if the HP reversal still goes through, we have the very real potential to die. Alright, let it rip. Gaze. That is so loud. You know, this is kind of just an endurance test now. Because technically, if we never clash with Yang, we never take damage. This is gonna take a hot minute. we have effectively won. But, we still just have to go through everything else. Also, Wonder Arc, unfortunately, just can't quite keep up with the light requirement right now. So this is actually going to do damage to Sleepy, so I'm honestly just, well, man, let's try and dodge it. Okay, it's a good thing we tried. 1 damage. 1 damage at a time. We're gonna get through this fight. Oh my god, this is gonna take hours! This is gonna take forever! We're gonna consider that one complete. I don't know why her name changed to Unknown, but we'll just ignore that for now. Angel's Pendant. If an ally has Devil's Pendant or Duality Abnormality pages, transfer this page to them. At the start of the scene, restore 1 light. When a die this character plays rolls minimum or maximum value, recover 1 to 2 HP and stagger resist. Devil's Pendant. If an ally has Angel's Pendant or Duality Abnormality pages, transfer this page to them. The selected librarian dies if they have Angel's Pendant, but not Duality Abnormality pages. Gain 1 to 2 speed. Offensive dice, minimum and maximum value, gain +2 and +1. Defensive dice, minimum and maximum, lose 1 to 2 value. And Duality. If the selected librarian has Devil's Pendant Abnormality page, recover 2 to 3 HP and stagger resist at the start of the scene. If the selected librarian has Angel's Pendant Abnormality page, deal +3 damage with attacks. If the selected librarian has both abnormality pages, double both their and this is page's effects. That makes sense. And for the final battle, Army in Black. Well, here it is. The Army in Black. Nyum. Alright, for passives, let's start with the pink ones. Ah, they're mimicking us. The color of the human heart. Ignore protection when attacking. Any damage that would be dealt to a target with attacks is converted into HP recovery and stagger resist recovery. Deals no stagger damage on a successful hit. The stagger resist of this character is shared with the librarian tied to this character. If the librarian tied to this character dies, this character turns into Army in Black. If no Army in Black are present at any given time, a random character with this passive becomes an Army in Black, losing this passive. In trying times, whenever a new Army in Black appears, a random instance of Army in Pink will use an It'll Be Okay page. Army in Black. Black Love. Speed dice slot +1, gain 2 speed dice, 20 max HP, and 10 stagger resist for each time an Army in Pink has become an Army in Black during the suppression. When staggered, all librarians recover 10 HP and stagger resist, and this character recovers all stagger resist. Oh! Corruption. Each scene use 2 heart-piercing bullet. Oh. Where was I? Dang it. Oh, I completely lost my... I accidentally hovered over this pink one and it reset. There it is. Pages in the slowest speed slots. One will only target an Army in Pink unless none are present. If more than one Army in Black is present at the start of the scene, the oldest Army in Black will use a powerful mass attack and die at the end of the scene. Drive away good thoughts. When hit, deal 4 to 6 stat damage and stagger damage back. if no army and peak are present, change this amount to 2 to 5. Oh, good. Alright, so what do we got? Spread the love. On use, all librarians restore 5 stagger resist. On hit, give 3 haste. Next scene. Getting dirty! On use, target restores 7 stagger resist and gains 1 stagger protection this and next scene. User takes 7 stagger damage. On use, target gains 1 protection. Stagger protection. Okay. Getting dirty. Oh! On hit, give target 1 strength next scene. A random librarian heals 5 HP. And then, yeah. So, heart-piercing bullet. On hit, deal stagger damage equal to half of the target's stagger resist. Oh. I see. So when they stagger, is that when they turn into... Hang on. Deal no stagger damage. The stagger resist of this character is shared with the librarian tied to this character. If the librarian tied to this character dies, this character turns into army in black. I imagine if they get staggered, they turn into army in black too. Am I mistaken on that? Weird. I won't pretend to fully understand how this fight is going to work. So, technically, we should just let them hit us, because they don't actually do damage to us. Oh, forced conversion. This page cannot be redirected. On hit, ignore block die damage reduction. On hit, inflict 2 feeble next scene. Oh! So, Sleepy is going to become an army in black? I think. It also can't be redirected, and we can't do anything about it either. So, that sucks. I guess I'll see you later. Okay. And we don't want to necessarily kill them, because that won't do anything for us. Okay, alright. I think I'm understanding. So, in that case, let's go for Coffin. Then we can go for Shyness, because why not? I'm just going to go for Shotgun Barrage and Close Combat Preparation. Then I'm going to go to Where the Prescript Lies. And then we are above 80%, so let's go ahead and draw. Then I'm going to hit you with a Decay Ampule as well as Lanchester. Let's go. Wow, you take 0 damage. Yeah, absolutely 0 damage. Okay, unfortunately, our counter dice are kinda not helping us right now. We are dealing okay damage, however, we do need to worry about conversion. Okay, and when he gets staggered, he instantly recovers, but we all restore a little bit of health. Oof. Okay, let's do Duality, and we're gonna do it, thank you. Was that 1,000? Okay. Right. We're gonna give it to Sally, because she has the passive where she revives, so may as well. Okay, so you're dealing a lot more stagger. None of you are seemingly exploding and turning evil just yet, so we're just gonna keep the ball rolling for that. Okay, Sally, deal as much as you can. Then... Ooh, you know what? I'm actually not gonna go for Nitro. Yeah, I think we actually just hold this turn. I don't like doing that, but it's kind of our only option at the moment. Oh man, this kind of sucks. Yeah, let's just go for Icebreaker and then hold. Then, you know what? Let's just gain a ton of strength. I don't think hitting them is a good idea, but honestly, we don't have too much choice. I think I am just gonna hold off on Sleepy. Then we go, the wing, voracious for knowledge. And then we definitely win that clash. Let's go. Donk. Bonk. stink, a kunk, and kersmash. Okay, 5 strength for us next turn. We're also basically going to be full light. Okay, they keep helping us for the moment. The wings, voracious for knowledge. Just about at a stagger. Oh. Okay, we do block the first one. That's fine. We're getting a ton of buffs for us. So he's probably about to explode. I think that's what the light counter stands for, is the explosion. So if that's the case, I'm gonna go for the courage to protect. Okay. Then I'm just gonna go for another shyness. May as well. Let's go for feast and chop. We're definitely not gonna stop that first one. Actually, you know what? Let's go for restrain. Then we go for feast and chop. That way we draw a 2-cost page next turn guaranteed. Let's go for Nitro Express now. And then I'm gonna go for another close combat. Then Joy, you are going to do a Decay Ampule, and then you're gonna draw with Gale Kick. Okay, we do get a stagger. However, we take a ton of stagger. Oh, in fact, we're all staggered. Everybody here is staggered. Ah. That sucks. Well, we're gonna go for trauma on Angela. So he's probably gonna explode this turn, right? We're going for Gaze into the Cosmos again. Yeah, that's our turn. At the very least, we can't be staggered twice in a row. Devil's Pendant. Let's give it to Joy. So now it goes on to Sally. So we can't just give it to her directly. We have to give it to somebody else. We have to worry about Gaze into the Cosmos again. Sleepy is being a little bit of a problem. Let's see. I'm gonna go for Nitro. No. I'm gonna go for Shotgun. Then, let's go for Analysis of Armor. And then we can go for Stun Prod to get our light back. Then I'm gonna go for the Eye Rebuilding the Future. That way we can potentially get even more light. Let's go for Lean Bloody Wings, and then just go for a regular Shyness. Then, you're hitting here, so let's go Polar Ice Bloom. We're definitely not going to win those initial clashes, but that's okay. Go for Shockwave for a little bit of light, and then go Feast and Chop. That way we can guarantee draw a 2-cost page next turn. I'm just going to go for Mend Weapon into Cut Off the Breath so we don't get staggered. And then we go for a regular Gale Kick. Okay, so it doesn't hit anyone of note. Oh, I see. This mass AoE hitting them is also forcing us to get staggered. That's problematic, especially when Army in Black blows up from being staggered. Oof. I see. Okay, so we might have to change Sleepy's deck, because this is definitely not going according to plan. Let's give Angel's Pendant to Wonder Arc. Okay, you're not exploding yet. Yeah, Sleepy is just using this every single turn. I don't know where she's getting all this light. But, apparently, we're getting it somewhere. Okay, let's go Courage to Protect. Unfortunately, we don't have quite enough to also go for Meaning of Existence. So let's hope to be a better person. Then we just go double Shyness just to let it ride, and here we go. Okay, we do win the clash. Ooh, Angela does prevent herself from getting even more staggered. Okay, Sleepy ideally is not going to be a problem child for us. We debuff the Army in Black for next scene. Ouch. Okay, double shyness just to get all of our light back. Okay, look at that. We actually have a turn. Yes, we actually have a turn. Would you look at that? Ah, that's scary. Okay. The meaning of expectation. Then I'm just gonna do a double token of friendship and a shyness. I think that might be the best choice. That basically puts us at full light next scene. If this doesn't kill Army in Black, then nothing will. Down he goes. Okay, we get a new one. That's problematic. I'm just... Huh. So, wait a minute. So, at the end of this fight, only Angela will be left against... an Army in Black. That is, Huh. So effectively, this fight is unwinnable. Because Angela, just saying it straight, is garbage. Like, Angela has an absolutely terrible deck. Like, yeah, she has a lot of AoE abilities, but having a lot of AoE abilities against one person doesn't really help. Well, you know, that is minorly problematic. So, let's just do as much damage as possible and see how impossible this is gonna be. By the way, why is literally... Has every abnormality we fought in this episode been endured to all damage? Is it? Am I making that up, or are they just all endured to all damage? Like, there's no weakness. Depending on how this goes, Sally might be one of the last ones to go down, though. Also, the fact that every time we stagger him, it, does like a stress nuke on us is also pretty problematic. Or no, maybe he doesn't. Maybe I'm... wait, he went to full health! Why? Did we do that little damage, or did he go to full health? I'm confused. I could have sworn we did more damage than that. Here we go. Ow. So all of our defensive dice are super disempowered because we have both duality and both pendants. Okay, they are continuously buffing us up, so they continue to be nothing but mostly helpful. Okay, let's see how you like a decay ampule. Also, I'm paying significantly more attention to his health this time. Is it 168? 163. Okay, we're blade unlocked. I think he's at 143 if I saw that correctly. Okay, he stayed at 143. What the heck happened? Apparently I just wasn't keeping track of damage then. Okay. Well... Alright then, fair enough. I guess I just wasn't keeping good enough track of damage. Baba boy. Ow. Okay. This is fine. Lanchester going down. Okay. And he's dead. Oh, we have so many counter dice. Alright, who's dead next? Wonder Arc is dead. Okay, well. So, okay. I think something goes weird with them gaining extra max health. I think that might be what's happening here. So, because you gain, 20 max health and 10 stagger resist for each time an army in pink has become an army in black. So, twice now? Because I don't think the initial one counts, because he starts as an army in black. So, you're technically at 290? And 145 stagger resist. Right. So, I still think that this fight literally becomes impossible, though. Like, these particular pages, the 12 to 14 on Angela, are going to just completely maul her to death. Also, on use, dice clashing against this page gain -3 power. Okay, you're also gaining new mechanics, it seems. It'll all be okay. Used before all other non-mass attack pages, prioritizes the librarian with the least stagger resist, not counting stagger targets. On use, target gains 3 protection and stagger protection. This and next scene, all other librarians recover 5 HP and stagger resist. On hit, fully recover stagger resist. Target stagger resist, that is. Now, hang on. Or no. Okay, I was gonna say, does that recover army in black stagger resist? But no, because the person who is the army in black died. Okay. I mean, I still think the fight is impossible at the end, but hey, may as well see it through. Dude, I gotta tell you though, god dang, these fights take ages. He did go to full health. I saw it that time. Okay, 200%. I actually visibly saw it that time. He went from 140 to 250. Why'd that happen? Did I miss something? Is there actually... I missed something. I guaranteed missed something. What does that? Is that one of them? I don't know what caused that, but I guaranteed saw it that time. Is it just bugged? You know what I think happened? I think the first turn after it gets converted, it doesn't delete the previous army in black. So the game sees, oh, an army of black died. I need to purge it. And purging it causes the current army in black to become an army in black, which sets its health back to maximum. I think that there's a scripting error involved here, because okay, so I don't think it's a mechanic. I think that's actually just an error in how the conversion of army in pink to army in black is done. Okay, well, unfortunate, not the end of the world though. I want to get... Oh, wait a minute. It just dawned on me. Wait, no, it will just be Angela. I was gonna say, oh, wait a minute, because there's enough people for it to... No. So it will come down to an Angela versus Army in Black finale. Our Angela is strong. I wish I would have known, so I could have given her the freaking duality pendant, but... Let's see. Because we have Overclock, which is giving us +2 power. We have Emotion Amplification Module, which is giving us +2 power for offensive and defensive, so +2 all around. And then we have Finely Aged Experience, which has a 7% chance every scene to boost dice power +1. So, I mean, +3 dice power potentially every turn isn't terrible, but I don't know. I'm not too confident in Angela. Well, we got a background change. There's nothing. So that is exactly what happened, though. I just watched it happen again to suddenly full health. So, yeah, that is exactly what's happening. Let's see. Any new special pages? Loaded clip. Aim for the heart. Dice on this page deal true damage. Oh. So, if you don't know what true damage is, which to be fair, I think I've said true damage quite a few times, but as far as the game is concerned, true damage is, oh, I'm sorry, you have resistances, ignored. You have protection, ignored. That's what true damage is. It ignores everything. On hit, deal 6 stagger damage. Target takes 50% more damage and stagger damage from attacks next scene. Aha! What the... On hit, deal stagger damage equal to half of target stagger resist. Hello? Now, I know it's going for them, but still. Has that always been the case? I feel like that's a little different. End of the line for us. Okay. And down goes the army in black, leaving nothing but one final contestant. By the way, I don't know why we're zoomed in so close now, but I guess we are. And with that final shot, it's nothing but Angela and the army in black. Now, this first turn doesn't count. Force conversion, loaded clip, blend in, blend in. Uh-huh. It really sucks knowing that this first turn doesn't even count. What do we do? We can't really just ignore him. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Ah, man, and we don't have any way to restore a lot of light. All right, give it a go. He is debuffed next turn. Oh, are you taking normal damage? No. Just from blunt. We're getting a really cinematic view right now. We can practically see their pores. We're so close. We do get staggered, so he goes to full health. We get staggered, and we're dead. See what I mean? I kind of knew this was gonna happen. I got here out of curiosity in case there was some kind of special mechanic, but yeah, I had a feeling that that Angela just wasn't gonna be able to do this. Like, even with +2 guaranteed power and ineffective to all stagger damage, it really just doesn't matter. Angela's just so weak. Which I believe the first time I played through that, I mentioned that, where I feel like she should get a very heavy buff, or these fights should get a very heavy nerf, because when it boils down to just Angela, she can't do it. And now, the final abnormality pages currently obtainable. The realization is still not done, like I mentioned at the start, so here's what we got. Heart-piercing bullets. On a successful ranged attack, deal stagger damage equal to half of the dice roll. Guardian. Take 5% less damage for every other ally present, including damage from non-attacks. At the start of the scene, all other allies recover 2 to 3 stagger resist and gain 1 stagger protection. And we salute you. Damage and stagger damage taken by other allies is redirected to this character. All other allies deal 50% more damage and stagger damage with attacks. Upon death, add a copy of I Salute You to the hands of all other allies. What to do? Who knows? But with that, I believe that's gonna do it for this episode of the Library of Ruina. I was gonna say Limbus Company, and then I was gonna say Library of Babel. By the way, the Outskirts button, if you're curious, is from Da'at, but it seems to be a lot of placeholder stuff and stuff that's being built, so not much to see there yet. However, like I said at the start, I don't know if this is still in development, truthfully. It's been a while, and I'm not in the Discord, so, you know, maybe something is being said over there, but as far as the Steam community is concerned, most people seem to be in agreement that this mod is dead, which I sure hope not. But I know that there was quite a few people who just didn't quite have time. I believe the main person in charge of the mod stepped away from modding or something along those lines. And you know, I don't know for sure, so don't take my word as gospel, but from what I remember of the story and glanced at the bottom of the Steam page, basically a lot happened. Life got in the way, and supposedly it's still being worked on, but honestly, I don't believe that anymore. I think if it was gonna come out, it probably would have at least been teased by now that some kind of rework was in the making, or that something was being done, but again, I'm not in the Discord, so I don't know that. But just in case it ever does get finished, I wanted to document all of the cool goodies that it currently has, honestly, so we can compare and contrast if it ever does come out. And by the way, if you're curious who Joy, Sleepy, and Wonder Arc are, they were from a permadeath LobCorp run that I was doing, that I did unfortunately end up canceling just because it was so close to when I originally ran through the game. So I was kind of just picking like everything meta, which wasn't very fun for me, and I doubt it was fun for you guys either. I have kind of been debating going back to Lobotomy Corp and maybe just installing like a good handful of mods. I already have a few picked out, but I was thinking about it. I've been feeling pretty nostalgic, maybe this past week, which is another reason I wanted to revisit Da'at. On the one hand, so we could see everything it had, and on the other hand, because we hadn't played it in so long. But regardless, enough rambling from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Oh, garbage collection. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.